Uh, At this time, we're going to resume the meeting from last Thursday. Going over the budget, trying to finalize it. So, let's start it.
Okay, we're starting.
Yes.
Everybody's going. Oh, I emailed it. Did y'all get my email?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
That's what we're looking at right now.
So Cindy, now on the current taxes, say what she told you.
Okay. That last year's rate, that 0.86, that's what we got last year.
Uh-huh.
There's two rates now. Voter approval rate or the no new revenue rate. If we use the no new revenue rate, and that's it, 0.9602, we won't generate like $1,000 more. But that 0.9694, we don't have to have election or anything. So, no. It's the voter approval. She said, I don't know why they're naming it that. That means you can go up to that
Without
an voter approval.
So did you do any kind of figuring on on your taxes, how much would it go up? You know, I mean,
Well, it's only,
yeah, what, is it less than a point?
yeah.
So it wouldn't even be $10?
See, the school taxes go up 6 cents. That's what she told me. And the counties is actually going to go down. She said they made major cuts in the county.
So the 674 is what it would be if we left it. Like, or do we have that choice?
No,
We don't have that choice to leave it at
We can-
0.8.
no, it's got to be, if we do nothing and just leave it with the no new revenue, it would be the 0.9602.
Okay.
But we can go up to the 0.9694 without anybody but us five deciding it. Is that what you understand, Dan?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Yes.
If we can go up to the voter approval rate and have no election or nothing.
Well, if you go to the voter approval rate, it seems to me that I understand that if you go to voter approval, you are going to have to you're going to have to publish that in the newspaper. You're going to have to hold hearings for that.
No,
And
no,
we really don't have time for that now. You wouldn't trigger an election automatically unless you exceeded that. But even going to it, it does trigger some other requirements. Whereas if you...
Okay, this is what she told me.
Shannon.
Okay. Okay, this is what we have to do. We have to post 72 hours. She said if we accept what I've been working on, in the morning I called her and we got it posted in 72 hours that we've got our proposed budget. Which would
You
be
just have
like
to post
Friday.
it, like on our website.
She said website, but she has to put it in the newspaper. And in 7 days after you propose it, it's adopted. There's no hearings, no nothing. I talked to Gayla today.
Okay. And that's that.
She said there's one form and we gotta get it on the comptroller's website. But she said, don't even worry about that. If you call me tomorrow, she's leaving Friday. And it can't be done until 72 hours. So it'll have to be Friday. She's leaving on vacation until like the 8th or 9th of September. But she's got a girl, she'll have it all ready. And and that girl will put it in the newspaper for us, and then it will be adopted 7 days after it's proposed. She said there's no hearings anymore. Cause they've changed all this to this where you don't have to,
Because of COVID.
well, she don't know if it's because of that or if it's because they've changed the whole taxing system.
Okay, so can I ask you, will you figure a $50,000 home at the rate we have now? I just want to see how much so people can afford to this.
That's $431.50.
Okay, and then do it at that new.
I was doing the, okay, 50. Hang on. $484.
So we've got $50.
But you still got you gotta consider that you got your exemptions, some of that other stuff plays in there. But I mean, we can't help. Okay, do you wanna know what it is?
Yes, the difference between the
Yeah,
two.
that's what.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It will never be 0.86. It'll
Right.
either be 0.96 on two, so, okay.
Yeah,
I
no
wasn't
way.
thinking.
I see what you're saying.
480. And then the 480. 470.
So $5, less than $5.
I mean, there's no
And
reason for it
if they ask us, it's not us that does that rate. It's based on the state and the values, yes, the values and how the voter approval and the no new revenue, how that's calculated. She said it's very complicated. But she said this is what you use.
So y'all, why not go ahead and use that amount?
Yeah.
It's only gonna increase our taxes $5. On a 50,000, on 100,000 it'd be 10.
Yeah.
What do y'all think?
She told us we was crazy if we didn't.
I agree with you.
That's what she told me. She said it ain't enough difference.
So Cindy, this 734, 221.53 that you put on
That
this,
is what our taxes is going to be.
okay, with that 9,
With the,
no, that's what we were gonna multiply times. Though. I
Yes.
see what you're
yes,
saying.
yes,
Okay.
76,465,479. Well, that comes up with 741. She told me that figure.
The 734. You know, and that might be with those, like you said, the discounts, the homesteads and stuff. You think?
Well, she
Well,
told me
no,
that. She told me that exact figure, and that's why I put it down.
Okay.
So that's what I'm gonna say, and I will double check that, how she figured it. But yeah, she said there is we should not even
Not
consider.
okay.
She said you should not even consider nothing but the voter approval rate. Because, it's not that much and it's a few $1,000
You're taking advantage of or we're taking advantage of them.
of the state situation.
Yes.
And the But, okay, now let's go back. You want to go over every page? I've got them in
Well, I was
order.
just this, like the income, we haven't gone over it at all. The penalty, current taxes, the 8,013 is just what we've collected, I guess, this year.
Yes, that is current as of about 45 days till the end of our year. This was about the middle of August when we gave us those figures. I can remember.
August 17th.
Yeah,
Could this 734,221.53 be the 90%, or what did we use last year?
That's
90?
that's 100%.
That's
I bet we used 90.
Can't remember what we did, but
I think we always have tried to use 90.
I thought.
And
so.
that's 660. But, I mean, you can see, look what we did. Looky there.
Yeah.
Our, but that 542 figure, that was our budget last year. And we've already collected 674.
Mm-hmm.
It shows here the current budget was 660.
Where's that 542 coming up? Well, okay.
You know what? Well, and Cindy, I'm looking at the printout that,
We might have rounded it up.
we, and is that the 90%? We don't know, because we budgeted 660,000.
Well, let's see.
Maybe we went with 100%.
We might have.
Because it seems like I remember Dan telling us that
We were-
we'd always exceeded, that we have collected. So.
But see, look at our sales tax. It's 40,000 more than we
Mm-hmm.
thought. Of course, our penalties is way down, but our delinquent taxes is about right. The penalty and interest on delinquent. Our franchise tax is double.
Is that
What
something we can
that could be very what Kimber's talking about.
Well, no, that's sales tax. I don't know what franchise tax.
Franchise tax is like the telephone and
Right.
the internets and,
Mhm.
companies
Oh,
in
okay, that are having to.
that are having to pay us for their business being our tax rate. And we've always, when we first started getting all that, you remember it wasn't even on the budget. And we kept wondering what it was from, and Dan helped us find where it was from. Well, that wasn't even being considered
Mhm.
but it's increased more and more.
Mhm.
And I think Dan has helped us be able to, get
Get
more and
because,
more.
the-
And so we've never run that up real high because we didn't really know
How much to
how much
depend on?
to count for.
Mhm.
But, our police fines is way down, but we know why.
And I
Parks is
feel
up.
like that'll come up some. I mean, that
Oh,
32,000,
yeah.
I feel like they'll.
Oh, yeah. And did you notice, I stuck a whole thing in there. I put all of our salary on there like we've been noting on the bottom,
Okay,
so that you would have that on there. We can wipe that off.
no, I love that.
Well, when we need to, whatever we need to print from
Yes.
there. But anyway, when you go and look, just start with administration.
Mhm.
268, 100, and now that does have a raise in it. You see that?
Yes, and I've seen,
Yeah.
yes.
That does have a raise in it. And then, water department, which if we take the water and the sanitation out, that's where, because it supports itself. Remember,
Yes, it has to.
we don't count
We take the revenue and then the expenditures from both of them out, right?
yes.
Cindy, does that cup station and all
Because
that come
see,
in?
we have, with our payment and stuff, it shows we owe $920,000 coming out of that, that water sewer revenue, but that 240 is that payment
Mhm.
that gets moved over. You see that on the third page, fourth page? And that's this year, the 587. So once we take the expenses out, and we take the, let's see. See, I don't have that in our budget for last year, but the 745, when you take it out. Put water down. The expenses.
Cindy, does that cup station come out too?
No, because it has no income.
Okay, okay.
See, I would think we wouldn't take that out.
So what pays for it?
Yeah, I mean, if it's part of the water,
Well, that's what makes us so close to our budget. I'll show you in just a
Okay.
second. Because it's kind of like Dan said, we know we always have 200 or so left because. Okay. And sanitation, we take it. Because both of those, we know, make a profit.
yes.
But we know why they're making a profit because we're having to pay that note. Those gonna be those two notes. Should tell you my finger out or something. Okay, once you take the revenue out of the water and of the sanitation revenue. We have to take the, water. What did we leave the sanitation in? I should print that at home. I had it all. Yeah, I got that right here. That's what I looked at to know what we did include. Got the sanitation right here. We got the water's what's not in there. It's just the water.
Not sewer.
Well, she broke that up this year, so it's kind of, let's see. So we're gonna leave we're taking the water revenue out, and we need to take the water expenses out. So we're gonna put the sanitation. so I added the sanitation expenses back in, the 291. Where we paid for the dumpster. Okay, and then we got the sanitation revenue is up there, the 349. Well, that's what it is right down there. So when I change and take the water out, that makes that, let me find my paper so I can tell you what to change it to. It makes that, make sure this is right. $1,420,830.
Say that again, 1,000,000.
$1,420,830. Okay, that's taking that 745,984. Okay, so then we're gonna go down here and take out this 626,479, which is the expenses on the water. And see, that's kind of helping us, her breaking that out, because
Well, we know that
they both make money. I mean, that's our business. Okay, that instead of that 2,425,079, that's 1,798,600. Okay, so when you so now we're showing the 395,000 in the hole. But we've still got nearly 2 months, see, left in our of income to come in. So we're taking away all of our expenses into about 10 months of income. See what I'm saying? So when you take that 1,420,830 divided by 10. See, that's nearly 300 and so let's see.
it'd be 142,000 per month, so it'd be another 284,000 we would add to it,
Yeah,
right?
well, I got a little more. Yeah, 1,704,000. So that still kind of shows us a little bit in the hole. But if we put in,
When you take the 745,984 and subtract the 378,
okay, what are you telling me?
you know, the water and sewer revenue that you're taking out of the income,
Okay, yes, the
and then you're
730.
also taking out the expenses of,
Yeah, see, that's $100,000 right there.
and so,
More than 100, about 120 income, you know, to the good. So, but that's what we did, you know, that's what we've been doing, it's just not doing. But we're already taking into consideration that we're up in the sewer. See, we've
oh,
already,
it's in, okay.
see, we've already included that, haven't we? Because we figured how much that would be. I mean, wastewater, that's wastewater. See, 378,000 expenses. And see, we don't have any income showing in that. And I think
Oh, I
that,
see what you're saying. We're not reflecting that revenue.
and the wastewater is gonna have, you know, it's gonna start creating money that's gonna pay that payment.
Isn't it starting, is it
Real
October
quick.
1 or in September? Do you know when that rate was gonna be? Dan, do you know when the water bill was gonna go up due to that wastewater increase?
The rates are going to go into effect in October. So it will be reflected in the November billing. The bill that people get November the 1st will have the first time that those rates will be higher.
Okay.
But I mean, when you look at her wastewater budget, which it's got that, and look over on that last page, it's got that $167,500, which makes that high, see? But that's our payment that we're gonna have the money to make because we're gonna increase the income. So when you take that 378,100, if we just, he's got to show it in the books, but that line item, but we'll start collecting that, and it'll start building up, and then that's just showing a transfer to the general fund. See,
So it's already being, I see what.
and so it would be 210,000. So if you go over there and take that and make that wastewater 210,600 instead of the 378,100. See, that
That's
lowers it
expensive,
some
it's
more.
gonna, yeah.
It's lowering it more, but then we haven't increased the income over here. But I mean, we gotta show it right on paper,
Right.
is the only, But we also have that other note payment that's in there that is being included in the income because we've been collecting that for several years. So, and that's the one that's in the, it's just in the water.
The Cindy, bottom figure is, even with all this and how you got it here, it does tell us what all of our expenses are, all of our incomes. With everything you put in here, we're $258,000 short.
Sure.
So, but without the new sewer,
Yes,
Increase.
without the new income coming, plus 2 months of other income. See,
so that's, if it's 142 now, isn't that how you would do it? The 1,420,000
if
divided
that was a
by 10 months?
17, that's 1.5 months. So,
Okay.
so let's,
But you really can't do that because you're not gonna
That's
have,
not comfortable.
well, and you're not gonna have any property tax revenue
no,
to speak
you're
of.
not gonna increase nothing but your two things that make money,
Right.
that supports itself. The sanitation and the water.
The sales tax.
Sales
is
tax.
already in there.
Yeah, all you got in that franchise tax. But I mean, if we go in there and increase that franchise tax, it's nearly double. But everything, when you look at all the income, even when you put the sewer and the water back in, that's where you get the 2,166,814. So, and then if you take out the water over here, if you leave that in, you gotta take this, you gotta leave this in. So,
Yeah.
but that's already 120,000 more than expenses for the whole next year. And you still got nearly 2 months to collect. Really 2 billing cycles to collect. Well, I guess Yeah, we'll have August.
Well,
No,
You'll
the
have
October one.
September, really, because,
Yeah.
well, by the time you're out, it'd just be September, really. From what we printed out last that Dan had given us.
but if you go up there and you take that, okay, what the current, because this is current, right here. If we just plug in that 734,
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
221, 53, that increases it.
About 60,000.
So,
If I may,
okay,
I'm just looking at the audit report from last year. And he breaks down, because this is after the fact. In 2019, governmental activities, total income, governmental activities is property tax, franchise tax, everything except the enterprise, which is water sewer. It was 1,422,086.50. And in 2019, the business type activities, the total income was 1,086,997.15. Now, that's before having to make the payments on the sinking fund and everything else that we do. But your total income last year for the city was about $2.5 million. So if that helps with what you're trying to
$1,000.
kind of estimate you're going to be getting this year, it should be pretty similar to that.
So, and we've got every expense listed. I mean, the payments, everything. So
If I go up there and put the 734 under my current, if I put that 734, which is gonna be our coming year, see, that makes it 2,226,310, which just makes it a negative 31. And I also put my water income down here. But we know that's, I mean, our water income's gonna increase, but our expenses aren't going to. I put all the expenses in here, and that's 2,257,000. So that's 31,000, but we still know we're gonna have that, at least that much is gonna come in the 45 days.
then can I
It's
go
kind
ahead
of just
and,
a wash.
I mean, and y'all please, again, speak up. I've just, the more I've thought about like some of the salaries, and just like our dog catcher,
We do know, we talked about what's, yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, but we can't pay her $14 an hour
And a new secretary.
and pay Tammy, $15 an hour, and then pay someone part-time more than both of them are making. That's how I feel.
Yes,
I feel that we need to budget something in for Rick, because every 6 months, after their first 6 months, we always give them a raise. We haven't done that. I've kind of gone over some of them, and, I think, Tammy, I think she deserves to be.
well, now her raise is it figured in there? It is.
The
her raise.
65, you've got it at 65?
Yes.
Okay, so then what about,
The raises it's figured is Dan and Angie's, and
and
I'm not even stuck Calvin's in there, 'cause
see, I left him at 32 because.
okay, hang on, let's just a second, let me see what I did. Calvin's 32.5 and she's 31.2, so they're not even, right? 31.2. 52.
And that's what I had for new.
Yeah, that's $15 an hour for 10
And
at 31.2.
okay, so my thing, what if we kept Calvin's at 32.5
Okay,
and we raised hers? Well, we couldn't raise it that much.
3%.
I was thinking the 33,000. That would give her, that would put her at what, Bueno would be making, it would put her,
So you're talking about increasing it, $1,800?
yeah, but since she was, yeah,
You're talking,
yeah, you're right. That's just the, I wish, Dan, you know how you gave me the report on the policeman that said that how much they were getting paid per hour on
Mhm.
base pay? Can you tell us what Tammy's is? 1586 or?
You'd like to know what Tammy makes by the hour?
Yes, sir.
All right.
here's 15 on a 40-hour week.
So see if we did 33,000.
Tammy earns $14 per hour.
I have 15.
When you divide 31.2, because that was what, yeah, we did talk about that.
Yeah.
We have.
1563. That'd just be 32,510.
Okay, so what if it's 1586 an hour?
1586. It's 32,988.
So that's 33,000. So that's what I had, the 1586, and bump hers up to 33,000. So that would increase that one 1,800.
Yeah, make it 65.
And then we go back to the police department.
That makes that 113,300.
It does?
We increased it from 109.
$1,800 would be how much now? Sorry.
Well, wait a second, I must have had something else in my thing. 65. Oh, I didn't see the 63.7. Okay. 65.5. $111. My eyes are wrong. 111,300.
Hey,
Okay.
Dan, do you remember how much we was paying the previous administrative clerk at the police department per hour? I don't think it was that.
The chief had me start this new one at the same rate that Barbie left.
And that's $15.63 an hour.
Yeah, that's what Barbie was earning when she left.
And
Are
so
we
we would,
moving Tammy up? Are we moving Tammy up to that same amount or what?
I'm showing it's $15.86 an hour is what it would be.
Okay, that sounds.
You would get a $2,850 per year raise. I mean, that's what it would be.
I think it's good. Cause she is gonna have more responsibility now.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
And then on the police department, y'all, I just, like I said, y'all, I just did some figuring. But Rick, we hired him 3 months ago. He makes $52,500. in 3 more months, if we gave him, you know, because I'm sorry. Look at,
The huge.
yeah, it's just a difference when you start looking at, yes. And I put 54, but that is only a $1,500. So, I mean, y'all,
3% would be 1575.
yeah.
Let me say one thing right quick. He already has asked me, could he get, is it possible that he get like a housing allowance? Because where he's living at right now, they don't allow smoking, and he has a dog, and he don't want, and there's no way he can have it there. So he just talked to me here a month or so ago, and just kind of run it by me and see what we could do to help him. You know, not because he's really, I think he has also, his girlfriend smokes a lot, and she can't smoke there. So he was he's considering trying to move, but he's gonna need some help. So that's something we may want to think about as far as getting him a raise or giving him a housing allowance.
Hey, Charles.
Yeah.
I visited with the chief last week, and we were talking. He was telling me about the housing, and he said that he's looking into probably getting an RV. And I told him, I said, okay, that's good, you know. And we have a spot there at the Chambers RV park. I told him he can get put it there and have a flat rate there. And so he was all for it too. So, but he's looking at getting an RV.
Yeah.
Or he said it on his pickup. I don't know how he said he can get a big old camper for his truck. I mean, I don't know what he said.
That's a ghetto.
Yeah, something like that. It's all big stuff for something like that.
I can assure you that wouldn't last long. Nobody's gonna live in an RV or.
But that's what he said. I mean,
A single man might go, not in a camper.
Definitely not that.
But I was just letting you know that's what he told me.
I mean, we had talked about that too, but I mean, he even said, it's just not a permanent fix. That's just a temporary thing. And
Do we have it? I mean, Dwayne Billings stopped me yesterday, and I don't know if y'all remember the Officer Flores that was here that, you know, was on unemployment. She's moving, and he told me that house, only thing is, it's 12 miles out of them.
I can tell you right now, I don't know if it's poor insulation, old house, not trying to tell anybody
Yeah.
business, but the electricity bill out there
It's-
is.
I believe it.
I've not ever seen it. but
It's a dump.
It's a big house,
Is it really?
big house, poor insulation, am I right?
Yes,
I don't know, I mean, I
I was just thinking
I'm
too
just
far.
wondering from what I see.
I think that's too far out.
So what are
Has
y'all?
anybody checked with, Rich Bryson? Do you not have anything open right? He's always got one house.
What about Brady buildings?
It's a lady that lived on the street from me that we bought that house.
What about Joanne?
I think those little places out there across from Lunenburg, they're not all full right now. I don't know what their rules are on dogs and smoking.
Charles, do you remember what we usually do for a chief after the first 6 months of employment? Because we usually bump them.
Well, we had very few of them that stayed that long. Well, I can't remember. Really, to be honest with you, wasn't no standard. You know, I can't remember giving them that big of a bump. I mean, we always just start giving that housing along with Brent. But in my opinion, I mean, I really do think the chief deserves staying as something better than the housing authority. I mean, it just really, to me, I think, I mean, we don't have to give him as much as we had. His salary is like 52,000, and I think we had to give Mickey like 58,000 plus like 800 housing allowance. And I mean, I think Rick is going to be a deserving chief. It may be too early to try to give him some kind of performance allowance, but as far as housing allowance, I think we ought to consider trying to help him. You know, maybe, I don't know how much that would be a month, but I think we at least ought to consider it because he really, I think, you know, I think also he would probably stay here on the weekends more. So he's going home every weekend right now.
Does anyone know, or is there any schoolhouses that are empty that they might be willing to, you know, the Compton house, I don't know that anyone's living in.
Seagray's local residents are renting their own houses out and moving into the schoolhouse. He said that was a bad deal from the get-go, buying houses. They sure did, took it off the tax roll, and then we got people that, not even, like, maybe the wife works. Yeah, 8. That had houses they separated from their husbands or this, that, and the other.
To me, I think we should ask him, because I know he surely was all confident about getting on, he really did. He really did. But
Well,
I
there's
think
some
we can
nice
ask him.
RVs, don't get me wrong, but I don't think you want to spend $300,000.
I don't know. They don't mind. I mean, I can ask him again, if you want, if we can find a house.
So if we just go ahead and say, if we allow $500 a month for housing, you know, on top of his salary, I mean, is he paying anything at the housing? Do y'all know? He's not.
I say that I think he has to pay utilities.
That'd be $6,000 a year. So that bumped him up to like 58, what? Yeah, like,
I mean, the way he talked to me, you know, he asked just for some assistance, not exactly try to pay for the full amount, but if we could help him out, you know, just because he really wanted to bring his dog up here and his girlfriend, and I don't blame him, you know. Like I said, I think it'll kind of be to our advantage because I think he would stay here on weekends. He'll be available more, but you know, and then two, to me, I think we want our chief to live in something better than the housing authorities. That's just my opinion, but I mean, I'm for giving him some. I mean, not the full housing authority. I like the idea of $400 or $500 a month, and I'm sure he would be satisfied with that.
Charles, are you renting both of your mobile homes?
Yeah, they are for a while. I don't know. Yeah, they are right now. Yeah, they are right now, but I don't know how long that's gonna happen. But I'm remodeling my other house there on Avenue H. So
So
yeah.
if we give him a $1,500 raise like we do after 6 months, and then we allow $6,000 for housing, then that would bump him up to $60,000.
I think that would be. I think that would be great. I know I would like it if I was in his position. I don't have a problem with it.
and that's from the utilities.
Yeah, I mean that.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I think that would be a good idea. I mean, to me, I think that's good myself. After 6 months, I mean, that's just how he been there. How long now? 4 months.
keep them here, you know.
Shannon, what do you?
I wouldn't even camper at all. Girlfriend, boyfriend, dog sitter, or whatever. I'm good with about a week. And those walls go.
That's
But if
not
we-
us women, but you like to say he's got his girlfriend, so.
But if we, if we go ahead and just allow him a straight $500 and it's for housing, then, what, if he decides to do that or try to get into an empty schoolhouse, we're not doing our part by giving him the 500.
Incentive to keeping
Yes.
things there.
I just want some stability, y'all.
I agree.
I want, I'd like to be the next couple of years on the board that we don't have to worry about this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We were, and I'm sorry,
I agree.
we were paying Mickey more than
Yes.
that already.
Yes.
Enough said.
Okay, so is everybody in agreement to give you a $500 housing and then after the 6 months, give him the 1,500? Okay, so let's change his to 60. And then I looked at Joe Mendoza, the stuff that Dan had given me. He makes $19.52 an hour. And he got a raise in February. And none of our other officers make anywhere close to that. So
What is, his is 19 what?
$19.52 an hour.
Okay, and what is the others? I don't know.
Resendez, Trevina, and Briones is $18.26. If we gave them a raise to 18, gosh, was it $18.96? It was 60 cents. Or 50, yeah.
Okay, 1896, you think?
Well, see what that is, because I was,
When you divide 40, 829, divided by 52, divided by 40, that figures 1962.
when you take what?
Okay, it says, we show the 40,829.
See, and on his stuff, everything he gave me, he's showing 38,000.
Why do we got 40?
I think because there was this leap year? Did they have an extra week instead of 26 paid? We're paying them 27 weeks?
This was the year.
Was. So I think that's what it was. But I don't think that would be because that's $2,000.
Okay. Forgive me. Okay, I went back to my notes.
The 48.29 was the raise, right, Cindy?
Yes,
Okay.
the 4829 was the
And
rate.
how much per
Because
hour?
we've got, wait. Okay. Now, okay, this is my notes.
Mhm.
We were once told it was 43.6 for Mendoza.
Yes,
Then they
that's what
told
we-
us 43.6, 46.72.
Mhm.
Resendez, we were told it was 45,760. And then we marked it out and put 4829.
Yes.
And then Trevino, I wrote 1826, 41,000,
Which is the 48.
4829. And Briones was at 38, and we did it at 4829. So, and I wrote 1826 by Trevino and Briones.
Because that's what he has, that's what he's paying.
Okay,
That's the number he gave
1826.
us.
1826 times 40 times 52, and that's just 37,980.
That's what we budgeted.
But you don't pay them at 40 hours.
Yeah, they get, you know what they do? They get that 86 hours.
Okay, makes a lot of difference.
It sure does. I'm sorry.
Okay, they get an 86 hour,
Mm-hmm,
2-week pay.
mm-hmm.
So, okay, 1826 times 86 times 26
Yes.
is 4829.
Mhm. So that's what they're making
Yeah.
now.
I
Okay,
didn't realize, I guess that's the first I heard of that.
that's what Dan shows on the computer
Okay.
here, and I forgot, because they can get up to 86 hours without us having to pay overtime. I forgot about that.
Okay,
So,
so that's where those figures, that 267, of course, I rounded it off to 268 up there. But that's, and I'm showing 1826 on Resendez, Trevino, and Rivers.
and if we, and I guess I did this on a 40-hour week, but if we raised them from the 1826 to 1877, and I did it by 40, so it's gonna be
Okay,
46,
1877 times
86.
86 times 26 is 41,969.72.
So
That
that
would
would
only
give
be
them
$1,100.
1,100. It's not even $100 a month. So if we did it 42.5 divided by
42.5
divided by 26
divided by 26
divided by 86.
divided by 86, which is $19.70 and 19.007154.
And so with Mendoza making 19.52, then these other three would be making $19 an hour.
Okay, let's just figure 19 times 86.
I thought he was part-time. He's full-time.
He is full-time now.
He's been full-time for a long time.
Oh, yeah. I thought he had another job.
Those are just moonlighting jobs.
Oh.
Just,
Okay.
$19 an hour times 86 is 1634 pay period times 26 is 42,484.
So let's just say 42.5. Let's just say
Okay.
42.5 for all three.
All three of those.
And then we know that we wanted to raise Bueno up from $14 an hour. I mean, and I
What
figured
did we
her,
have her? I don't have an hourly rate.
she's on,
Showing 31,000, but then 29,
I think
120.
that's what I had. But on here, it says right here, ACO Bueno, base rate is $14 per hour for an 80-hour pay period. And it's
14 times 40 times 52 is 29,120.
120. And
So
I
if we
mean,
did her at the 1586,
uh-huh,
86 times 40 times 52 would make her
30,
32,988.
so say 33,000.
33,000.
And then leave
Yeah.
Miranda where she's at.
I think we need to make a note that she might have to like skip a raise or two in the future. I mean, but that's quite a bit for part-time. You see what I'm saying? Just a mental note or something that says, okay, she
She's
started
good
out
for a
high.
few years.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna ask you. I mean, where do we come in as far as like, okay, this is how much you're gonna get paid? Because the chief doesn't know the budget, like he was brand new, he didn't know the budget.
well, that's what we had budgeted though.
No, what I'm saying I know from last year, but, I mean, you start her inexperienced, don't know nothing. You started at $15, she could have started at $10 and work it away. So next year, when we come to do this again, the chief might have to give a raise, You know, it's the same thing as an officer. Where's the limit? Where's the max? Or also too, is if you sign a rookie, you're gonna start on that 42, because that's where everybody else started at.
No.
No,
You see what I'm saying?
38 is what we
Because-
started out at.
I mean, I know Trevino's experience and stuff like that, but he started right after Brioni, but Brioni's been there 2 years or 3 years.
But we had already said last year, last year we set those rates that a rookie rate or a newcomer
Well,
at $38,000.
I understand that, but what I'm saying, I mean, at least wait a year before you get paid with everybody else, because, I mean, for me, I just thought jumping them at the same rate, you know, that's just kind of, I mean, I know, I mean, I would agree that, you know, he's experienced and, you know, that's what you budgeted, but, you know, we could have saved a little bit, you know. And like I said, I mean, because next year, if we start, you know, we got $19, you know, we're gonna start paying them more, because they're gonna want to, so is there a max that we stop paying them? Every year is gonna, if they ask.
It
just
just kind of depends on.
It's just like, Ruben, it's just like your job.
Yeah.
You get I'm not saying you always did, you get a cost of living raise, if the money's there. I mean, if
Yeah.
the income is there, the
Like
money's
James
there.
County this year, they're not getting no raise.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
And I didn't know that there was, they cut their budget deep. She said deep.
Yeah, they think
That shocked me, because I didn't know our county could do that.
I mean, you know, nobody's gonna work for 10 years without a raise.
Yeah, well, no, I understand what
So
I'm
you
saying.
can't cap it, you just
Yeah.
say that,
Mhm.
you just revisit it every year.
Yeah.
That's all you
I
can
mean, you
do.
know,
But
I mean, I just hoping that like the tickets and stuff like that, you know, that, you know, that's what we're gonna get our revenues, and that's something that we have to achieve. I mean, that's just part of getting more money from the city, you know.
And I really do feel like he'll pick back up. I do, you know, he's kind of got his feet wet and in here, because there is some things going on, you know,
Yeah.
like he's told us. So, but I do think we do need to set our base at 38. If we do hire someone that is a rookie, that's, you know, just like Brianna's, when she started, we were her first job, I think.
We were.
And so, you know, but I do, with the experience that we have now, you know, I want to keep them. That's what happens. We set a budget and then one or two leave, well, then we're paying all this overtime.
Yeah.
And it, you know, if we can go ahead and bump it up there and keep them, then maybe we won't have to worry about that.
No.
And so, I mean, so are we,
Okay, I plugged that in and it's 283, 646.72, so I just went up there and put 283.5. Let's see, did I do 5? 650, 283, 650. So that makes the police budget at $535.50. $535,050.
okay. and
Let me, what about, what are y'all doing for Angie Veronis? I mean.
We haven't got there yet.
Okay, because we need to really consider, because she has really came up. She has really
Yeah, we just have.
qualified herself. I mean, we need to figure, because the reason why I'm saying that, I don't want to lose her, but you know, she lives in a different city and they'll grab her.
Who are you talking about?
Angie Veronis, I mean, the
Oh.
police officer.
Are you talking about the policeman Daisy?
Daisy, yeah, I'm sorry. Daisy.
Yes, we
Yeah, we
increased hers.
Yeah, we increased.
How much?
We go,
We gave them a 70-cent raise, didn't we?
No,
From 1826 to 1896,
no, it was more than that.
or $19
It was
even.
19, yeah.
She got a
She
74.
does, I mean, but I know she really does a good job of what I'm hearing from Rick.
Went from 40,008 to
Yeah,
21,000.
we went with Resendez, Trevino, and Briones, all three of them. We raised them to 42.5.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear that, I'm sorry.
The only one we left the same was the little secretary that works part-time. We left her
Yeah.
the same, but
And
everybody
Mendoza
else.
the same.
Yes, and Mendoza.
Okay. Yeah,
because
it'd
he
be nice to keep.
okay, so
What did that, what was that police budget total?
35.
35 and $50.
Okay.
So you plug that one and that one in.
We're getting municipal court. Adjusted it on here, I didn't. We're just gonna make it work on labor. Because we know the money's there. The money's there. And we
And
haven't
on-
accounted for all of our income
On parks, it's Larry and Johnny,
parts.
and I figured them $1,000 raise.
And find the parts.
And y'all, like I said, y'all speak up. I just, theirs wasn't quite as much.
Okay, so you figured on a what?
Larry up to 33 and Johnny up to 34.
Is that even a 3%?
No. It's right.
Yeah, it is.
Is it? Okay, okay. I guess I didn't even figure it, so but you're right.
Well,
3 times 3.
Yeah,
is
32 would be a little bit less.
And 60,
90.
instead of 65,000, it'd be 67, Cindy.
Okay.
And so when you change that one, it go from 172 to 174.5. And the one that the water, she had it broken down to Renee and Joe on water, and then Manuel and Angel on wastewater, and then Marco, Michael, and a new person on water. And so on and Cindy does have it broke down under water department payroll.
And that's where our confusion is her
All of
splitting, splitting the cuff, and then she increased that a lot this year. I'm not sick, I got crackers. Sanitation and water, and then she added the wastewater.
Yes.
So really and truly, that water and wastewater falls under the same budget income of the water department revenue.
So that would take those two, some pretty big ones out.
Yeah. But then it shows like we'll have like $300,000, so we really don't want it to look like that if we have to put that on. But when we throw these raises in here, it might change it.
Mm-hmm.
So let me put the.
I know, like you have on water, so it should just be water on this one here. That's what.
Sometimes I didn't correct at the top. Let's see.
That way, we know.
Okay, I got water sewer, okay, but that's
That
just
should be
water
water.
department. Then this is the revenue and it's combined, water sewer revenue. See, it's got the water, the penalties, the sewer, see, it's got all that. And then it's got that debt service of $240,000. Well, for this year, we've collected $587,917
For that.
for that. But then we're gonna start increasing that, that's gonna cover that 240. So Dan will fix that where that money's going, showing to be over there, that'll offset that you know, coming out of that 920. Excuse me. 240. See, we should just make that 680. See, instead of the 920, and then we still got 45 to 50 days of income to still come in.
Mhm.
But we've got all of our expenses already
Already
shown for
showing.
the whole year.
Mhm.
So it's kind of, you know, you kind of got to figure that you're gonna have more income to offset the extra expenses
Mhm.
that we've already included.
Mhm.
Because we're just basing it on August 17th.
Mhm.
No, shoot,
Right.
you know. But whatever we gotta do, you know, which I guess is what this here looks like. Whatever we gotta do to make it.
Mhm.
Because, you know, I know in the year before we started doing it, you know, they would just move water over, you know, bring it
Yeah,
over
that's
to
it.
make it
Yeah.
zero out.
Yeah,
So, but under the water department payroll, which starts Renee, Joe Bueno, I mean, and like I said, I mean, I don't know what y'all think about Renee's salary. The new director, I mean, I do agree that we do need to hire someone, you know, and put it in this budget, because if she's given us a year and a half, is that what she said? That, you know, we need
I
to,
heard too.
okay, we, you know, we need to go ahead and budget that in there.
But like you say, we might hire him, but then he's gotta apply for it
Yes.
because that's the law. I mean, we
And
got,
I think we need,
it's gotta be posted.
Website, newspaper.
I mean, we may get someone from another town that is a waterworks person that wants to come.
I agree.
You know, we don't want to just.
There's a lot of people out of work right now.
Yeah.
A lot of people out of work.
But I do know we gave Manuel a raise last year. She asked us to do that in the middle of the year because he was gonna quit. And so we gave him a raise after that 45,760, which that's under, yes. So. I mean, I don't know, you start,
Well, what does he, we need to find out what he gets per hour.
I
I
know,
guess we can figure it out, can't we? 45,760. $22.
really?
22 times 40 times 52 is 45,760.
Okay.
Is that right, Dan?
What's that?
Manuel Martinez, does he make $22 an hour?
Let me look.
She says this Angel's doing a really good job.
Yes.
Yes, he makes $22 an hour.
What does Joe Bueno make per hour? Cindy, what's a 31.2? Did you do that?
15.
That's it?
Mhm.
$20.50 basically. $20.48 an hour.
You right there. What was it, 2050?
Mhm. And then Angel, Marco, and Michael. And the thing with, I know Angel, you know, but he is a new hire. And so,
So how long has he been So he might can get a raise in a few months.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, you know, is he a single guy, you know? Is he a single guy? Is he a family?
Renee had to make some decisions today about all of the people she had hired to be temporary because none of them were receiving benefits because they were classified as temporary hires, but it's been 90 days. So according to our agreements with our insurance providers, they have to be insured or else reclassified. So she moved 2 of them to part-time today and has brought Angel on as a full-time employee with an effective start date of today and a 90-day probation. Now, I've had to sign him up for insurance anyway because he has been here 90 days. But that's all changes that have taken place today that I don't guess you were aware of. But 2 of the 3 of them are now part-time, working 28 hours a week. That's according to our policy manual, that is what is classified as part-time.
And that's Marco and Michael?
Marco and Caesar. Michael Flores is the only one that she's retained as a full-time permanent employee. But she wants him to be on probation in her department for 90 days before she'll, you know, decide to keep him entirely. And then she may want to give him a little pay bump at that time, but I don't think she intended for him to get a pay bump right now. She's just moving him to full-time permanent status.
Okay, so Marco needs to be changed.
Well, where is Marco at?
He
Is he just short, 4 times short? Okay. So that'll be 21.
and then so will Cesar.
He's a full-time. He's still part-time. Okay, so I need to increase that 10,000 to 21,840.
No,
Oh.
if the 31.2, it's gonna be another 21,840.
Oh, okay, so both the 3120s are gonna be 21,840.
Yes, and then we need to change the part-time to full-time, and that is Michael. And he's making the $15 an hour, which is the 31.2. So,
Okay, so did we change?
I haven't changed Renee, Joe, and the new director, we know we can leave it.
Okay, you didn't change Renee, and you didn't change Joe.
So Joe, if you do the 42.5 times 3%, what would that?
1275. We make it 43,775.
So
what per hour would that be?
We bet 22, about what manual's at. Manual's at 45,760. Oh, no, sorry, 45, not 42. Or 43.
I was like, did I write something down? Okay, 52. 43,775. About 2104.
okay, so
Okay, and then Michael, okay, so I'm gonna have. Changes 3175.
what do y'all think about Renee?
My opinion. You already have to be people back and forth and the change of record.
Yeah.
That's,
Okay, let's leave that one.
Okay, hang on just a sec.
So the only one we need to talk about now is
New director.
the Angel Triana, and she just hired him 4 months ago, but she really likes him.
but if we do it now, is she gonna turn around in 2 months when we do it? That's 6 months.
But
Forget.
if she does, we need to budget
We need to budget it, but we need to tell her.
that this is all we're gonna go away here.
Till October. Is that what y'all saying?
Well, that's true, that would be the 6
6
months.
months.
Okay, so we got Renee still at 72, 731, 43, 775 for Joe, 21, 840 for Marco, 21, 840 for Cesar, and 31, 2 for Michael, and then I still got that 45,000, whatever.
Okay. Is everybody good with that? Okay. So then when we go to.
What did you do with Angel?
Yeah, that's what I just bumped him up to 32, which would just be $800. But I don't know what she has told him. You know, I
So that makes that total 236, 386. So let me go over.
say that again, 236.
236, 386.
Okay.
So, go over to water. And sanitation. Where are you people? Cuff and wastewater. No, that's the 2 guys. That's the Angel one.
Let's see, those Angel, the other 3,
Oh,
Marco.
here it is. It's in the water department that I need to take the sewer off.
The thing is, we don't have Cesar anywhere. We really don't know where she was gonna put him, because we didn't.
Oh, I
have him
just-
anywhere.
I've got him, I'm gonna put him in that water department. Is that
Okay.
not where he needs to be?
I mean, yeah, because we really kind of have all of them. We don't have them broke down, right, see?
Well, I do the parks and I do
Okay.
a
but
couple
then-
of them. The
but then-
cuffs, when we get to
Okay.
that or whatever. Well, this little smarty thing won't let me go and take that water sewer off. I'll have to work on that. Can y'all believe I took 2 more dogs to the vet today? Last month,
Yes.
Tanya's, the girls. This Monday, mine and Kim Rogers. Didn't take me very long today.
An Uber fee or what?
Well, it's one of them things, you know, you say, oh, I'm going to the vet, I'll get you some pills. Well, really, she needs, oh, get out of here. She's not too much trouble.
Can I ask a question? On Manuel Martinez, Renee had given him a raise. Can you tell me when that was?
Yes,
You said February.
Well, no, that was on Mendoza.
Police, okay.
April 9th.
This year, 2020.
Yes, ma'am.
So where do you go? I don't either. I didn't think, because I mean,
Sorry.
1922.
I think just leaving.
Okay, that's what I was
What you
thinking.
think? I mean, he just got a raise.
And then Angel is the one that she just hired. Yes, she likes him, but.
We might have bumped him up to that 1486, 1586.
And what would that be? The 38 or
30.
oh, 33? Yes, you're right. I see.
Yeah, 33, 32,988.
That would give him an $1,800 raise. What do y'all think? On Angel?
I'm okay with that.
Okay. So we need to be sure and let her
33,000.
know that if,
Yes.
that's what we're budgeting.
Yes, so that they know that
Yes.
this is all we can allow for this month coming up here.
I
So
don't know
Cindy-
if y'all read the, some of the paper, but Tom Keys is saying that what they've done this year is all they can do, and that they're looking at, they may have to do some trimming and cutting, laying off and doing them out next year.
I know.
I was telling them that Gayla said, man, the county cut deep,
Mhm.
deep. She was shocked. I mean,
I am too, just because of how many houses and stuff and everything popping up.
Right.
they increased 2 officers, didn't they?
Oh, I
Back
have
when
no
I
idea
was-
though.
Well, it was in the paper.
I didn't read all that, I just seen them putting that and laying off, and I was like,
And I know that oil, that's their main.
Well, there's one thing that won't get cut. You won't mark nowhere. Golf course.
poor Tom Keys, they,
Or Tom Keys pay. He gets keeps keeping.
Is he retired?
haven't heard that.
Somebody put it on there. They were back and forth.
He's not running. He's not. I mean, that nobody believes. This year's just been so crazy. You don't know who's doing that. Really. I don't even know what's going on. All I know, we're voting for Trump. I hope.
Okay, Cindy, so if we
All
do
right,
the
that made
waste,
that 78,760. So let me go up here.
it increases to $1,800, so it would be 379.
See that, I've got to learn where all that goes.
It's under wastewater. Waste.
Okay, cuff and waste, okay. All right, so we're gonna leave that one, we're gonna do 33. 78,760. It's not quite 18. Okay. Is that right? 78,760?
That's what I thought.
Okay, so that makes that, 379,860.
Well, it should be
Let me see.
three
Did I
seventy-nine
put it in
nine.
right?
I think it should be 379.9.
78,760. That's what I put in the
You're
sewer
right,
set.
you're right.
Okay. Sometimes this computer
Well,
gets
I'm doing
wrong.
it in my head,
Okay,
so,
well, sometimes this
So
computer,
it's
earlier
379.
today, I was off $22 and I'd like to do it. So Mamie's oh man.
is that what you're showing the bottom line?
379,860.
Okay. So we've done everybody for payroll, right?
379.
Because we put in administration what Dan had asked
Then
for.
it was this one.
So y'all,
Now, wait a minute, wait a minute. I think I took that payment now. Yes, that's why that's saying 210,600. Because I took that $167,500 payment out over there. So really and truly, let's see what it looks when we take that out, because we're gonna get that revenue for that payment. That would be 212. Totals, 212,360
We're at,
in wastewater.
If she takes out that.
If I take out that 167,500 payment. And I still got it in over here, but I put that beside it and it didn't print over here loan payments.
Okay.
So, it just says transfer to general fund, so really we won't need that payment.
mm-mm.
I mean, because the money's gonna come. So that makes it 212,360. So we've done,
So every.
and there's no salaries in the CUF system. That's 85,000 is all just stuff.
Right.
Okay. And then when you look over on the revenue part, if you take that 240 out, which is debt service, which is pretty much the same, that's 680, and this year so far, we're at 587. So that income is gonna increase to that 680.
Mm-hmm.
So if you, let me go up here. Water, sewer, water. So that's. Or you could leave it in there and go ahead and count this year as the 240. We're really not collecting the money this year. So we really need to take it out. Don't y'all agree?
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, we can't show the revenue if we're not gonna show the payment.
Right.
And that
Leave it the
240, how much, where did we get that figure? 240 divided by 900, I bet. Let's see, it's 1450,
Was 1250.
12.
Yeah. And I think we used 8.
860 or something.
Well, try the 900 and see what you.
900 times 1250. 11,250 times 12. That's just 135,000. But I mean, we can't show debt if we're not going to show income. And that other one was really not debt, it was transferred to the general fund. I mean, it's going to show up on paper, but the income's going to come with the water bills. And
You
Then
two
we're gonna use
understand
that
that
payment.
better than I do, because
do what?
I so y'all understand that better than I do, because I don't.
Ain't that
do
right?
that
I mean-
stuff. I mean,
You don't, if you're not going to count the payment, you don't need to count the revenue.
The revenue, exactly.
but is the revenue, we're gonna start.
Well, I'm showing
charging
it was 240. But then the payment was just 167.5, so I don't know where we got those figures. I couldn't find any notes where we got those figures. Did y'all see what we did?
And that's on the additional for what we've increased due to the wastewater plant,
Yes, the
right?
wastewater, yes. What we're gonna start charging to cover that. I put a note here.
Okay, y'all, that's underwater, the sewer.
I kind of run it, the cuff and the water is,
Yes, but that's the
on
one that
one
we're
piece of
talking about.
I mean, two pieces, but it's both on the same piece. And I may need to go home and look at all this again. Send y'all and say, hey, make sure I'm looking at this right. You know, but we're showing water revenue at 500 and we're at 411. I mean, when you divide 411 divided by 10, that's just 494, so that's about 6,000 off. We estimated revenue at 500,000 last year, and we're only at 411,987. But when you do it with the extra, it figures about 494. So, you know, that's a little increase. Probably the next will want the penalties are increased, and the sewer should be about right, which that's gonna be more because we know we're gonna get that income for that. And the miscellaneous income.
I don't have any notes on this.
See, that's me. I don't know where I got that figure, but that's what I wrote over here. Wished I'd have made a note of what I did.
Do you know, Dan, why we would have, under the water sewer, we would have debt service at 240,000?
That's the payment that we make on the sinking fund, the bond, the cuff system bond.
50, that's,
Yeah, that's 26 something.
Yes.
yes, okay.
Okay, y'all, I'm gonna make a note.
But we're already collecting that. And we're
Yes.
paying the payments. All that's gonna show is a transfer from one account to another.
Mhm.
And we are collecting a little more than we're paying, I think, right, Dan?
It depends on the month. I transfer
Okay.
I transfer about $18,000 every month. Some months, if you calculate it at 30% of the revenue, might be a little more, others it's a little less.
Okay. So that makes sense where that's coming from.
So that's the water treatment.
But we don't need to count it in there if we're not gonna count the payment.
But why aren't we? I mean, because it.
Well, we're getting the revenue. We're getting the revenue. And it's a little off. I mean, it's $6,000 or $8,000 off. But it's gonna show up in two places as a debit and a credit. You know,
It does show up though. It shows up in Dan's budget.
That's what I was thinking.
is that
Remember
might be,
It is. He said he put it there.
yes, because it made more sense. I remember that now. Yes. Okay. $225. Transfer out to WNS fund, $225. Down there on 438. So figures about $18,750 a month. But we did not count it, see? When you go to,
Oh,
see,
you're right. We didn't.
we didn't count it. Transfer out, I took it out, see?
And that's on administration that you're talking. You're right, we didn't.
Yeah,
So you're right. You've got to take that out of the. There's our money right there.
there's a money.
Haven't you?
Yeah, so what do you want me to do? You want me to show it the income and the expense?
But they need to be the same, right?
Yeah. But she's just saying, you want to take it out or you want to put it in?
Yeah, do you wanna count it? If we do, we gotta do it as a debit and a credit. I mean, we gotta. show
Y'all
it as
are,
an
I mean, I
expense.
don't deal with this, so y'all say, cause.
You gotta do it as an expense and an income.
Just count it.
Because on the
Okay.
audit.
You've already
it's
got
gonna
it
show,
in the expense
Okay,
so-
or the income, whatever. You've got it somewhere.
well, now, I don't have any in administration. That 225 was only a transfer, see? That's why I took it out, because it's just said transfer out to water and sewer fund. Well, when you go over to the water and sewer fund,
Because the money's coming in and they're putting it in this account.
yeah, it's coming in when the water bills come in,
And then he's transferring it from here out into a,
making the
and
payment,
then all
into
this,
another account and then making the payment.
then just moving the money in just so he can write a check to pay. Gosh. I mean, I would think that.
So if we count
Make
the-
it show it somewhere.
We're showing the income, we really are.
Of course we are.
That, yeah, there we go. Okay, we're showing the income because we got the, we got the water. Let me go down to the water revenue. We're a little off because it's showing, we budgeted for 500,000. We're just at 411,987, which the way I figured it should be like 495. So we're a little off there. But that is the income because it's coming in on the water bill.
Is that right, Dan?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Average monthly billing generates about $90,000 in payments. Average
Okay.
monthly bill right now is, call it $97 and change. There are 800 accounts like that.
Okay, if we put the 18,750 times 12, if we put the 225 back into expenses of administration, and then we go over to the total, that makes it 49,100. So administration, 49,300.
And you're putting that on 438. I'm sorry, Cindy, I just,
Let me see. I don't, what's it?
no.
I done moved.
I'm sorry.
No,
No, I'm
I don't.
talking expenditures, not income.
Oh, okay.
Yes, don't
Okay,
listen to me.
I'm doing expenses in administration. I'm increasing that from,
So that's just gonna throw us off even more.
yes, it's $200,000. See, that's what it does because that's why.
that's what I'm
it's going
saying. You can't be showing that as income then.
We can't.
I mean, it's not being shown nothing as income. Right now, it can't be. Because you don't have it as an expense either. If you add that as an expense, that throws us off $240,000.
$240,000.
So it's just not showing in there.
You could consider the income portion of that, the transfer that I make away from water and put into the account across the street, the sinking fund. Now, if administration is showing the payment at 200 and whatever thousand a year, then the income that supports that payment is that 30% revenue that I bring in. So it is coming in. I mean, it's confusing, and I would love to have a different way to show it,
Yeah.
but it really doesn't affect the bottom line. So theoretically, you could consider that the income portion of that is the transfer I make away from water and put into my control and accumulate until I write the checks twice a year. Because I am taking that money away from the enterprise fund.
Just some other things to just come like that. Because we know we're running there.
Okay, so
Okay.
We're just gonna have to, you get all your expenses plugged in, and then we're gonna have to adjust the income side somewhere.
Okay, so if I took that out, took out the 225, we're showing now 52,000 short. So we just need to go with it. Well, we know where it is
Yeah.
because we hadn't finished the year.
Right. So it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, yeah. It's
So
gonna
just
be okay.
increase where the 52,000 is gonna go.
That's what you have to do. You should have to show it somewhere.
Yeah.
So
So
on
it's gonna
income,
go, well, we'll just put it in, there'll be some in sales tax, there'll be some not current tax.
Okay. Wait. I see what you're saying. But on our budgeted, like on that worksheet over there,
Mhm.
that you had in your hand, not the one you did,
Oh,
the one Dan,
the one Dan does.
this one.
That's where it needs to be reflected, is on the actual budgeted amount, not on these current amounts.
No, we gotta go by what we,
Mhm.
and see, like last year, in our proposed budget, we had 155,000 in our sales tax. Well, we're already at 162, but we just, and we still aren't for the year.
So let's do the 162 and figure out how much more we think we're gonna get in income sales tax.
Well,
Let's do
what
it.
about any,
what if we increase that one to 165?
and we need to
There's
increase,
Well, we'll get more than that, won't we? What are we averaging on?
now we put sanitation revenue in here last year at 320. But see, the thing is, even though I do it on here and show the difference, it's nowhere in here.
Mhm.
Did you notice that?
Mhm.
It's nowhere in here. We don't have to show them all of our expenses and all of our income. We got all of our income, we got all of our expenses, but we don't have to say, this is how much we got left, or this is how much we
No.
don't have left.
No, of course, right.
See,
It's just gotta be what we brought in is what we spent.
see,
Yeah.
the first page shows the revenue, so
Mhm.
we can adjust that
Mhm. That's what I'm saying.
and then go with our budget on our expenses and.
That's what I'm saying,
If
so-
anybody
On
goes
sales
through there.
tax, how much, let's just play with that number, how much should we raise
Okay,
it to?
let's see, we've had 162,822 divided by 10 times 12,
180.
now about 195, 162,822 divided by. But did you read this in no paper? It says we've got 222,000. You know where they get that report from the state?
Well, but, we have to remember that some of it's going to
To
economic
economic.
development. So
I forgot.
that's, yeah.
Okay, 162,822 divided by 10. Times 12, about 195,386.
That's what I was looking for.
So we just wanna put 195?
I do, I'm showing already we've made 20, now we've got about 26,000 more than we made last year. So that, I would. If we budgeted 155, then I'd go at least 190.
Hang on.
That'd be
Okay,
25,000.
If we put 195 in at the 1% sales tax,
Mhm.
that makes our, don't write this down yet, but that makes our total 2,258,488. And our expenses is 272, so we're 20,000 down. So we might as well,
Well, and your taxes is there, it's already there.
It's
Yeah,
there.
we probably didn't even need to increase that
We may not need it to.
to 195.
well, it's gonna show over here that we're netting. So if we,
But are we plugging in 660 on current taxes, or are we plugging in
I
734?
put the 734.
Okay,
Yeah, I
that's
put the
already
7.
in there, we still need
Yes.
20,000.
Yeah, we still
Okay.
need 20,000. That, I forgot, I wouldn't
Okay.
tell anyone. Let's just bump that franchise, it's 134, 9,800
yeah.
divided by 10 times 12, 161,880. There's our 20,000.
Make the difference in that, whatever you have to have to.
162.
That franchise.
Okay. 162. That shows us making a whopping $6,799.53. That's
Can you show that you can make it?
I don't think so. It
Oh,
has
so
to
it
be
has to be
balance.
So,
well,
So
we don't
let's-
have to show that.
so
That's
let's
just
take
for our
that
own
$6,000 off the
franchise.
yeah, whatever, and then it would be.
So that's gonna be 156. Even. That's a 2179, 588, 53. What else I got?
156.
Wait a second, I just did 56. Okay. I was like, wait a minute, okay. 2279, 588, $799.53. I just took 6,000 off. You want it even?
I thought it had to be. I thought our expenditures,
I
meant,
don't think we always have to do that.
okay.
I mean, as long as we're not incorrect, well, they changed those rules. We can go by that.
No.
That new voter, and you don't have to.
Okay, Cindy, so on revenues, you have 195,000 under sales tax,
Okay, let me get back up. 195,000.
734,221.
Okay, let me take those seeds out. Okay,
8,000,
well, I got 8,013 on my report. Is that what you're looking at, or just 8,000?
I was just putting requested
Okay,
budget,
8, okay, let's go 8.
and then 29,000.
For delinquent taxes,
That's what is, I mean, this is what, I'm just going by
we only
what,
collected 25.
okay, so
So, and that's what I got in here,
I would leave
25.
at 25, okay. And then 10,000 on penalty, or do you have it?
I've got 9,300.
Okay,
We were,
I see what you're doing, I just wanted
You
to
see,
make,
okay.
yeah.
I got 9,335. 156,000 on franchise,
Uh-huh.
2,366. I can put that at 2,500, back to 2,500. And see, we got our sanitation revenue in here,
And what are you showing?
349
Okay.
even. And then police fines 32,639. Parks and Recreation 11,120. We put 10,000 for last year. And then water sewer revenue is 745,984. And interest income of 10,796. We know that's gonna be a little more.
And we know the police revenues can
Yes,
be.
that's what I feel like that.
Yeah. I mean, what do you wanna raise it? But then that's
I
what we
wouldn't,
show.
I mean, we're fine, so just leave it in.
So you're putting them as the year-to-date, what you show.
I just, yeah, I didn't,
Okay.
we only bumped up the franchise and the sales tax.
Okay, and hey, if we're there, then that's good.
We're showing them $806 to deposit.
That's good.
I just think one thing that we need to do is make our own notes of all the increases that we paid, salaries, anything that we changed tonight. I know she's gonna do it,
I'm gonna
plug it
do,
in, but we need to make sure
we need to put, yeah, we need to make us,
We need to make sure
Jen
Dan
gets
knows.
that,
So
to
that
start October 1st, they're paying.
and make sure each department head knows.
And each department knows, yes. Yeah, and that one, yes, that one. Man, I got papers everywhere.
So I think that got us where we need to be. What do you think, Charles?
Yeah, I had one thing I wanted to say, in the municipal court part, we're gonna require Tammy to get some more training. I don't know if we got enough money added in there for that. I think,
We do,
I
I
know,
think we do, yeah.
we do.
well, I know that was training was there for Calvin, but I don't know if he budget for her.
We did.
We did,
I think we did.
Okay,
we did. We increased Tammy.
Oh.
okay. Yeah, that,
We increased training too. Let me look. And we increased health insurance and all that. 5,500 for dues and memberships.
okay.
Franklin Schools is
2,000.
Because he said she could do some of it online.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember, Charles, we talked about that with him, and he said a lot of that stuff she was gonna be able to do online.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay, that's fine. Now that looks like y'all done a great job again. I'm
Thank you,
satisfied.
sir. Y'all help. Couldn't have done it. I'll get all this printed up and I'll send y'all an email. So y'all can go and confirm it, and then if I will call Gayla. She told me, or I'll get, Dan, do you need to call Gayla, or can I?
I don't know. I haven't spoken to her today.
Okay, well, she told me to let her know in the morning what rate we were gonna use. And then she would, and if that was, and we'll have a proposed budget. We'll have to have a 72-hour notice, proposed budget, which would be Friday. And I guess we'll have to meet, won't we? On Friday.
You'd have to have a hearing if anyone.
No, there's actually no hearing. She
Then why
said,
do we need to?
well, she said you had to post it for 72 hours, has to be on the website.
So is tonight, we need to adopt this tax rate?
Well, I really don't know. It doesn't sound right to me. Everything that I've read about this says that you have to have a hearing, and you can, if you go with the no new revenue tax rate, you can have a hearing and adopt your budget at the same time, and you can adopt your tax rate. But the tax rate doesn't have to be adopted until the end of September. Your budget has to be passed before you adopt a tax rate. That's the way it's always been. First you have a budget, then you adopt a tax rate. So this doesn't really sound quite right to me. If you'll let me call Gayla tomorrow and visit with her a little bit, and then I'll send you all an email.
Okay.
So what are we gonna do in the meantime as far as
Well, if you all have decided that you're going to go with the no new revenue tax rate, that is what Gayla wants to know right away.
No, we're
As far as the sequence of events beyond that, I'm really not, it doesn't really sound quite right to me.
No, we're not doing the no new revenue. We're doing the voter.
The 99365.
No, voter approval rate. I gotta see what, voter approval rate. Yes, that's what we're adopting. That's the rate we're gonna use. She said we were crazy if we didn't do that.
Well, Gayla's the one who would have immediate authority to make problems for us, so
Yeah,
that's fine with me. It just doesn't seem to square with what I've been learning about all of this.
Yeah, she said it's very complicated.
Yeah, it is complicated. That's for sure.
And her exact words was, if we went with the voter approval rate, we have to have the proposed budget, which we do, let her know, post it in 72 hours. On Friday, she will put it in the paper, and in 7 days after it's proposed, it's in effect.
And it says here, if we do the voter approval tax rate, this is the maximum rate the taxing unit can adopt without an election for voter approval. And it's on the form with
Yeah.
truth and taxation.
The voter approval rate is, you take the no new revenue tax rate and you can increase that rate by 3.5%.
Mhm.
So that would be the maximum. And when I did the calculation on that, it generated about 23,000 extra dollars over the no new revenue tax rate. So there's two things to consider there. One, you can go for that $22,000 now, or if you don't really need it, you can bank that 3.5%, and then next year you could increase rates by 7%. Then if you didn't need it next year, you could increase on the third year by 10.5% over whatever your no new revenue rate is. So you can either take the money now or you can bank it and use it if there's a bigger need in a few years. So as far as what's crazy to do or not do, kind of seems like a wash to me.
Yeah,
If you adopt it now, if you go for the extra $22,000 now, the next year's no new revenue tax rate will be that same amount, and you can raise it a little. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
yes, that's what she said.
Yeah.
But you call and talk to her and make sure you not
I just
understand.
want to be sure that we got the sequence down, how we need to do.
The only problem is,
Like, she wants to know what the proposed budget is right away. That has to be published 72 hours later, then maybe you can adopt the tax rate. But she wants to know before she leaves what the tax rate's going to be so she can get all of these forms and everything ready for us.
Right.
But it may be that we don't actually use them right away. See what I'm saying?
that's right.
That's what we did last year.
Remember.
Yeah, so
The deadline on her.
that voter approval rate is the one that we want to go with.
Yeah, why not?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
So I will get this fixed tonight, and I will have you an updated email to you by time you get to work in the morning. Or maybe a little later, just a
So what do we need to do, Dan? If this is not our proposed budget, we're gonna have to adjourn and have another meeting?
Well, at some point, you're going to have a meeting where you actually adopt the budget. And you can adopt the budget and set your tax rate at the same meeting.
Okay.
But there's posting requirements. See that they rewrote every law around budgeting and tax rates that there had ever existed and wrote it in as confusing a language as they could come up with. So I get updates from TML every day. People trying to figure this out and what can we do, what can we not do, and all like that. So, but I would go with Gayla because Gayla is the one who she's responsible for overseeing us. So if she's happy with the way we're doing things, then we're in good shape.
Yeah, that's what she told us, that she would take it. And because
I
So
just
what we need to do
with
then?
her tomorrow and I'll write you an email, let you know what we talked about. I just want to get the sequence and the dates down with her straight. Because it is real confusing.
she said it was bad. She said they had to go to several classes, and she said they're still having to go back to the book. because the state did a bunch of changes on what you could charge and what you had to.
Oh, yeah, the state changed everything.
She said it was a nightmare. She said weird. And then they had more protests than ever.
Yeah, this is only the beginning. This is gonna be, there are gonna be lawsuits and stuff over this, so.
I know several of you.
Okay, so what's the next step? We just wait till you talk to Gail?
Well, let's give me the tax rate, or call her yourself, whatever. She wants to know what the tax rate is. It's 0.9, whatever it works out to be, 3.5% over 0.96, whatever. Give her that, or tell me and I'll give it to her. And then I just want to talk to her about where we go now that we've got a tax rate and we've got a budget. You've got a proposed budget, but it's not a real budget till you adopt it. Now, what I need from you is all of your budget figures so that I can enter all of them into the appropriate general ledger accounts in Encode, and then produce what is called a proposed budget. That proposed budget, then you would adopt and say, this will be our budget. And then we move that into being current budget. And that becomes the budget. That's the process.
I'll have that to you in the morning.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
And Dan, you're calling Gayla.
Yeah, I'll call Gayla tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay,
All right, so we can make a motion to adjourn this meeting. I did, Deborah.
So that's the mayor's call.
Motion has been made to adjourn. All in favor? Meeting adjourned.
Oh,
Just to with y'all, I'm having trouble finding someone to serve on that darn board in my area. And I guess I'm being a little picky.
okay.
So
I'm going to end the meeting. Good night.